So what are pseudocodes? Obviously, pseudocodes is an intermediate code, which basically means it's not exactly a high level language code that we have, such as in Python. Okay. Neither it's something like assembly language. Okay. So obviously it's there for us to explain some simple algorithms. Logarithms are the ways we can solve computational problems. We can represent them. So your instructions in pseudocodes, they don't follow a strict format or syntax, but obviously in CI, there are certain rules according to CI that we have to follow and generically as well. We will talk about those first, okay? I'll try to discuss as much as we can, obviously. So pseudocode like English, they use English words such as if, then, input, okay? We use this as well as symbols like arithmetic. We also use these as well, okay? So first of all, when we use if, then, else or input, these basically will be in capital. And then we have plus, minus, then we have plus, minus, and all that. Okay. And then we have the assignment. This is how we do the assignment. That's how we assign. Okay. Rules for writing pseudocode. The statement of pseudocode can consist of both commands and symbols. So let's say if I have over here is output, the output will be written like this way. And we've done this previously as well. We've done it in Python. Okay. So sum of two strings, you can see this, the sum of two strings is written in double quotes. The reason why we've written it in double quotes is because it's a string, okay? And comma, because obviously that's the way we can join a string with variable. That's in one variable and that's another variable. We learned that plus can be used to concatenate variables. Plus can be used to add numbers together as well. So plus could be used either ways. Yes or no? Okay. Plus can be used in both ways. Okay. So that over here, plus is being used as concatenate. And comma basically is used to join basically this string with these two numbers joined together. Yes or no? Right. Second, the commands keywords are written uppercase. Obviously, you know that. Okay, they are in uppercase. All the commands, all the keywords that we will have, they have to be in uppercase. So input, as you can see, we input a variable. Input has to be in capital. Output has to be in capital. So output you lose. Okay. If again is basically your keyword, it has to be in capital. Count less than 10. Okay. So simple rules. Obviously, I'm starting from the beginning revision. So I'm pretty sure you know this. So let's say we talk about the names of variables identifiers written in lowercase. So we obviously, if we have these names, they're in upper cases. Make sure whenever you use identifier names or variable names, you will always try to do one thing is you'll always do that, not try, you'll always do that, that you have, don't use a space in between, use underscore, use meaningful names. Like input X would not be a very better name. Height of student is better because I know what that this is. So yes, lately we've been practicing like saying input X and input B, but if they're numbers, we should enter number 1 or number 2, whatever it is. Output total, again, you can have this as a proper case as well. If user turns is greater than 4. So again, this is one of the comparison bit. The names of the subroutines. Subroutines, obviously, you know what subroutines are. Subroutines are your functions, your methods. Okay. They also start with an uppercase. They don't have to be all in uppercase, but they start with an uppercase. That's important. So please remember this. Your subroutines will start with an uppercase. So get temperature, get time, calculate payload. We have to follow the rules. I would advise you that you can somehow make your notes, or I'll share this with you. You remember them, and obviously the best practice is do the past papers, and you will learn it yourself. Okay, it's pretty easy, by the way. And then this is where I like Python, because Python follows just like the pseudocode. Python structure is just like pseudocode. VB doesn't do that. VB absolutely is not like a pseudocode structure. Anyway, In case of repetition block, loops, or conditional blocks, the statements following the loop or condition statements are indented by spaces, exactly just like the way we do in Python. Okay, indentation is the way how programming structure is identifiable in Python as well. We know that. Okay, so if we have this selection statement, if age is given this, then output this. So you know what variables are. I don't really have to explain. Variables are containers. We talked about that. Rules of naming variables. You know this, but since it's a revision, the name of variable must begin with an alphabet character. Okay. The starting character is written uppercase. You can use numbers as well as a new variable name. Special characters like and can be used in variables. Avoid using blank space. I just told you that. Okay, right? Give descriptive names to your variables. I mean, it should describe what the variable is. Character values stored in variables are enclosed in double quotes. Okay, right. Some examples are these. Assignment. So whenever we do the assignment, remember we always use this as an assignment. So whenever we say, for example, a variable name A is 5, this is the way we do it. Okay, that's an arrow. Sorry, it's quite an ugly arrow. What I meant to say was, when we say is A, why is my arrow so bad? Are you with me, or I'm just talking to myself? A is, seriously. Magul, you're with me, beta, Hana? Kirat?
Yes, sir.
So A is 5. Or variable name, that's the way we go. So yeah, example of following, 20 Monday. So we tax equal price into this square. So these are all the examples. That's how we do the assignment. As far as counting is concerned, we did talk about counting previously as well. Okay, count basically has to start from 1. Okay, right? And totaling always starts from 0. We know that because counting has to go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and total will not start from 1. Total has to start from 0. So, right? So totaling always obviously has to start from 0. So how we total is, we say, like for example, you have total amount plus profit, or we have total bill plus this. So that's how we calculate the total. Just remember that total starts from 0. Okay. Then we again the same thing. Output message, variable name, yeah, input read statement. So obviously, if you have to take an input in a system, and if you have taken output in a system, that's the way we do it. We पहले भी discuss किया. So input the student name and output and input. Okay, so let's look at this one. Okay, well, let's start from basic thing. So write a pseudocode for a program that asks for students' names, student roll number, and marks in science, English, IT, and maths. The program then calculates the percentage of the student and displays the result as on the screen with the student name and total marks he scored. Assume total marks will be 400. Okay, so you read the marks, right? Okay, obviously, whenever you have is such a kind of question that comes in, I would like you to create is a mental model first. Okay, you obviously should know what you have to do. Initially, if you're not very comfortable while you're practicing, obviously CI tak you should be comfortable. Even in CI, let's say, I would still advise use a pencil, solve the problem, and then later on, if you confirm that what you've written is absolutely right, or if you're definitely sure, then you can write with a pen. But in either ways, you can use a pencil. You can go through it. You will have time. After in sare papers, mein time will not be a big problem. I'm telling you that. Okay, inshallah, that will not be a problem. So, you before send up your practice कर सकते हो. We have solved a number of papers. मैं चाहूँगा P1 and P2 हम और solve कर लें. It will be good for you. Maybe we can solve a P2 tomorrow, or maybe we can solve, I don't know, we will see tomorrow what we can do. So the pseudocode will be like this. So you read the question. Assume the total marks will be 400. Okay, so output, enter. So obviously, first of all, we'll on the screen, it will say enter the student name. We enter the student name. Enter the student's roll number. We enter the student's roll number. Enter the student's marks and science. We input that. English, we input that. IT, we input that. Maths, we input that. Total marks, it was mentioned over here that assume the total marks will be 400. So we are saying is if the total marks are 400, so obtained marks will be what? So you know what the question basically was. The question was the program then calculates the percentage of the student and displays the screen on the screen with the name and the total marks he scored. So obviously, if you want to total marks, you have to add them all. So over here, what we're doing is we're adding the total marks. Over here, what we're doing is the total marks that we have obtained divided by the total marks, and that's how we calculate the percentage, basic maths, obviously. And in output, what we can do is output student. So we want a very good output to be displayed. So student name, okay, student name, which was a variable where the variable was input. वो हमने लिखा, फिर scored, okay, the student name variable आया, फिर score text आया, comma मैंने भी रूल बताया था आपको, and then we have obtained marks out of total marks. So this is again very important. Please remember how variables and strings can be manipulated to be displayed. And then lately what we can do is in order to display the output, हमने output display कर दिया. ठीक है, right? So practice question मैं आपको ये दूंगा, आपने ये try करने आज, मैं इनके आंसर भी share कर दूंगा later on. ठीक है, ये आपने practice try करने. If statement, so yeah, I'm sharing this with you. I will tell you कि ये कौन से हैं, okay, 4, 5, 1 to 4 करने हैं. If statements जहाँ तक होती हैं, I can do it a bit fast because मैंने किया हुआ पहले. So that's how if condition works. So you can say if condition, then statements, if for and if होता है, if condition होती है, if then and if होता है, यूं भी हो सकता है. So if condition then, so multiple if condition यूं भी हो सकता है. So these are multiple ways we can implement the if condition. Okay, you can use any of the above syntax. Obviously, it's up to you to check if a number of students are competed. If number of students is less than 40, then do this. So you can even have it in one line. Okay, like the way I said previously. Okay, to check if name is certain name or not. So if name is not Martha, if not, so we use this for the not, by the way. Okay, right? Then you do this input name to check if person is is above 20 and male. So if the person is greater than 20, then if gender, okay, now you remember this. If this is greater than 20, then you do this. Okay, because we are using or is and this statement should be true and this statement should be true. So if this statement is true, then we enter here. If the statement is not true, we'll simply enter right away. I hope you get the point. If this is true, we here, and if gender is male, then welcome boys hostel. Yes or no? We can also perform the above conditional check. So using logical, yes, that's another way. So you can even do this way. You can even do this way. If this condition and this, so we will look at this following condition. If this condition is true and at the same time this condition true, then do this. So either you can use the multiple if while indenting it, obviously, okay, or you can use this way. Okay. Limitations in case of the condition is false, we see no alternate action. Okay, right? So obviously we have to put else as well at the same time. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's look at this example as well. इसको भी हम देख लेते हैं. That's a good example. Okay, in a factory, employees have to work 50 hours a week to get a wage of $10,000. The overtime rate is $20 per hour. Write a pseudocode that asks the employee to enter the number of hours worked in a week and checks if the employee gets overtime, bonus, or reduction in payment for working a small number of hours than 50. The reduction is 150 per hour. Acha. So there are certain things that we have to look at. Okay. So आप एक बार क्वेश्चन खुद भी पढ़ लो. right? So basically what we have over here is we have get a wage of 10, sorry, this was 10. It was not 3 down, I'll correct this. Overtime ye hai, penalty ye hai, output. Enter the number of hours worked. Obviously, because the question over saying is, write a pseudocode that asks the employee to enter the number of hours worked. When enter kar diya, okay, so input hours worked, okay, हमने input किया, and checks if the employee gets overtime bonus or reduction in payment. So मैंने condition लगाई. So this is where I wanted to explain you how if is implemented. If the hours worked is greater than 50, okay, लिखा हुआ है, okay, is greater than 50, then overtime bonus is hours worked minus 50 multiplied by overtime rate. Okay, so क्योंकि वो ये कह रहे हैं over here, मैं तो पढ़ता हूँ, of hours worked in a week and checks if the employee gets overtime bonus or reduction in payment for working a smaller number of hours than 50. Okay, the reduction is 150 per hour. So employees basically have to work 50 hours in a week to get a wage of this. The overtime का ये रेट है, ठीक है, चाहे तो चीजें आपके लिख लो तो फिर आपके लिए आसानी होगा सॉल्व करने के लिए. द रिडक्शन का ये रेट है. सो ये सारी चीजें अगर आप लिख लोगे तो आपके लिए ऑब्वियसली विल बी इजियर फॉर यू. तो मैं दोबारा आता हूँ. सो ओवर टाइम bonus will be hours worked, okay, right, minus 50 multiplied by overtime rate. Overtime rate हमें पता है क्या है, so ये हमारा 50 है. Overtime work 50 multiplied by overtime rate. So total wage will be the base wage plus, or obviously base wage में हम ये add करेंगे और output वो आ जाएगा. Else penalty क्या होगा, हम hours worked 50 जो total 50 है, okay, small number उसमें से minus 50 multiply penalty rate, total wage होगा base wage minus penalty and output आ जाएगा, right? वैसे ये exactly ऐसा क्वेश्चन एक आया भी हुआ है, बिल्कुल ऐसा क्वेश्चन, वहीं से मैंने कॉपी किया है. So nested statement, nested if again, if then else, nested if होगा. Write a pseudocode to check if year is a leap year or not. ये भी क्वेश्चन आया हुआ है. So output enter year, input year. If year leap is, because leap year actually comes after every 4 year, you know that, right? Okay, you know what leap year is. So when the February has 29 days, am I correct, Kirat?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. So you know that. So if year, okay, is our percentage is 0, then I'm getting if year is 0, then output it's a leap year, else it's not a leap year, okay, else output it's a leap year and it's a leap year. Okay, have a look at this. Just have a look at it. And can someone explain me what I've done over here? I'll give you like 2-3 minutes. And could there be another way of doing it? Simple. G. Actually, I could have simply written over here instead of this. मैंने actually Python का code ज़्यादा use किया है. इसके बजाय मैं simple if जो मैं ये percentage है ना, इसकी जगह मैं actually a simple variable भी लिख सकता था. Okay, so if starting from any particular year, I could have said even 1 is 0, then it's a leap year. Okay, else if it's 4, अगर 4 साल बाद आता है, okay, तो obviously then output it's a leap year, else it's not a leap year. So इसको मैं एक और तरीके से भी स्ट्रक्चर कर सकता था, depending upon it, because obviously leap year comes after every 4 years. तो मैं जब भी प्रोग्राम बनाऊंगा तो वो स्टार्टिंग साल तो अज्यूम करूंगा नहीं है, मगर हर अगले 4 years बाद it will come. So obviously if the year is 4, then it's a leap year, otherwise it's not a leap year. You get my point? So you can randomly change it as well. Okay, इसको थोड़ा मैंने पाइथन से किया तो obviously confusing आपको हो रहा होगा. मैं आपको पाइथन में करके भी दिखाऊंगा, ये कल ही करके दिखाऊंगा. Then you'll have a better idea. We'll do this in Python tomorrow inshallah. Cases, हाँ, cases हमने discuss नहीं किए. Cases and switches, maybe I don't know, maybe or not. Cases are just is an alternate to the if statement. Cases भी use कर सकते हैं, switches भी use कर सकते हैं. Case बड़ा आसान होता है. Case says that we have like case और switch is the same thing. मैं दोबारा कह रहा हूँ. इसकी जगह आप switch भी use कर सकते हो. Okay. TCS, sorry, TCS switch, and you can write variable. Okay. So case switch, if the variable कि वैल्यू 1 है तो ये दे, अगर वैल्यू 2 है तो ये दे, वैल्यू 3 है तो ये दे, वैल्यू n है तो ये दे. बल्कि इंशाल्लाह स्विच और ये पार्ट कल मैं आपको पाइथन में दोनों करके दिखाऊंगा. विल डू दिस. ओके, इट यू विल हैव बेटर आइडिया. ओके, बल्कि ये तो पार्ट मैं कल पे छोड़ देता हूँ, क्योंकि यूं आपको फाइन यू गेट इट, बट इट्स बेटर आई डू इट विद यू. सो है इस तरह देखो, इट वर्क्स इन दिस वे. So you can say is that in a game, in order to set reward scores for treasure chest, output enter the treasure chest. So ये हमारे पास different basically scores हैं that we can enter. If I can enter 1, इनमें से कोई भी मैं enter करूँगा. So let's say if I enter over here is 3, तो वो कहेगा input just मैं 3 enter किया, choice वो देखेगा 3 क्या है. So if it's 3, तो basically वो क्या करेगा, 3 में it will do this. If I enter 6, it will do this. So whatever I do enter, it looks at these choices. इनको वो देखता है. By looking at this, it will perform the following thing. It's a much modular approach than in the if statement. It's a very good approach जो आप use कर सकते हो cases में. So कोई question अगर आता है वो case से भी आप कर सकते हो depending on it, or with an if. Okay. So it's just like you define this variables, और वो choice खुद ही discuss देख लेता है, वो case discuss कर लेता है या switch कर जाता है to any particular point, and then it displays you that output. You pick the wrong test. Okay, अगर if it's not one of these, if for example if I enter 7, it will directly take me over here and will give me this. Okay. So repeat के लिए we did discuss loops. We talked about different loops. We talked about the pre-condition loop and the post-condition loop. Okay, हमने discussion की हुई है बार बार. So for example, for count 1 to 10, output the sentence. So obviously इससे क्या होगा? This will be repeated 10 times. Okay, हमने for loop में discuss किया हुआ है. For count 1 to 10, output count. Okay. 1 to 10 के लिए output count ये आ जाएगा. We have discussed this multiple times. Okay. ये तो those of you did Java with me, मैंने Java में भी कराया था, हमने ये Python में भी किया हुआ है. Okay, so yeah, so even number, if we want for even 2 to 20, so you will see is step 2. So basically Python में भी हमने for में किया था. In fact, the worksheet that I've given you, उसमें भी example दी हुई है मैंने. So for even 2 to 20, so it will start from 2 and it will go till 20. Step 2 means every time there will be an interval, there will be a step of 2, a gap of 2. Step 2 का मतलब ये होता है, बिल्कुल Python की तरह ही है, same pseudocode. So output even. So it will output this in the same way. Repeat until. Repeat until is a post condition or a precondition? Yes. And Kirat, what is repeat until? Repeat until. So you will repeat
Sir, when
until.
sir जब वो एक चीज repeat होती रहती है जब तक
The condition
वो आप stop yeah.
Condition is coming afterwards, yes or no? So it's a post condition.
Yes.
Yes. So it's a post condition. So obviously, when you have a condition coming afterwards, we call it a post condition. So you see, you can repeat the following statement until a condition is met. Okay. So lucky number, repeat this until. So that's my number, output guess number, input number until it's met. Okay. And we just talked about it कि इसमें ये होता है कि इसमें statement एक बार आती है because condition बाद में check होती है. Okay. That's an example. So do while is where we have the condition coming first. We called it basically a precondition do because हम condition को पहले check करते हैं. So condition is checked, then it's done. So if the condition not true, we don't do this, we simply end it. Okay. To check if a number is prime number, enter number, input number. So, okay, input number किया हमने, n is to flag is equals to false. You know what a flag is, by the way? Flag हम use करते हैं to tell the code that have we met the condition or not. We use a flag. So we can say if the flag is false, we know that okay, fine, it's false. So जहाँ भी आपने कोई step in करना हो or define करना हो true or false, we can use is flag. Okay. So while n is less than the number, while n, the input number that we've entered, if it's less than the number, okay, do if number is 0, then flag true, then number to stop the loop, we break the loop. Okay, so ये आपकी है basically is the while. ठीक है, ये भी मैं आपको कल बेहतर साथ ही पाइथन की भी रिवीजन हो जाएगी. We can discuss this as well, और इसका भी कर लेंगे. Arrays. Yes, I hope you remember arrays. One-dimensional array, how to define them. Okay, you know what arrays are. इनमें से कई चीजें मुझे आपको पाइथन डायरेक्टली करानी पड़ेंगी. Even arrays भी. But obviously you do know what arrays are. हमने discussion काफी तो की हुई है. हमने पाइथन में भी arrays बनाई थी. Arrays basically are a much larger variable that use in your index numbering. Okay, index numbering starts from 0, keeps on going on. Okay, right? This is your one-dimensional array. When we talk about two-dimensional arrays, we obviously have 2 dimensions, such as this. We can make as a matrix, and we basically have refer to these points. Okay, so if we refer to this, basically this is let's say 0, 1. This is 0, 1. So this is 1, 1. Okay, this basically is 1, 2, 0, 1. This is 2, 1. Okay, this is basically 3, 1. So this is your two-dimensional array that we're referring to. This is one-dimensional array. Okay, why do we use arrays? Obviously to hold multiple values within a container. Advantage, we can directly go to that particular location, extract that information out. We can store multiple values within it. In a variable, we cannot do that. So obviously this is the advantage of using an array. Okay, so इसी तरह जिस तरह हम स्टूडेंट के मार्क्स को डिफरेंट लोकेशन पे स्टोर कर सकते हैं और उसी तरह उनको हम रिट्रीव कर सकते हैं. There are certain rules of an array. You can please go through it. Okay, they're really important. Okay, आप अपने मैं शेयर करूंगा. Please go through all this. Yes, इसमें से there are certain things जो मैंने कल आपसे with Python discuss करनी है. 2-3 चीजें हैं जो हम कल करेंगे. Then we have over here is right, एक basic example है अपनी की हुई है. Let me just two-dimensional array. Just explained you that. Okay. Functions. Okay. You know what a function or a procedure is. Obviously, function and procedures. होते क्या हैं? That's how you define is your procedure. Okay. You have to use the brackets. Okay. The procedure has to be started. The procedure has to end. Why do you need a procedure? Because it has to be called whenever you click on something. or जो obviously object oriented programming language is based on procedures and functions. oops का फायदा ही कोई नहीं है अगर उसमें हम procedure function या classes create ना कर सके. It's because of procedures and functions we can do anything. For example, अगर मैंने कोई procedure बनाया है उसको I can call it. I can call it anytime I want to. Okay, that's the important thing about a procedure. So function को हम new define करते हैं, function name, any parameter that you have, उसके return type define करते हैं, and then statement, and then we end the function. Okay. For example, we can have function series sum of series. Then we have to define is sum of series is a number integer and return is integer. We have to do this in case of pseudocode specifically. Okay, total number into number plus one, whatever we're doing. जो भी वो function basically कर रहा है, whatever it is doing. Output up to how many numbers you want the sum starting. So we output this. मैं input करता हूँ numbers. Sum करता है sum of series num over here. Okay, and output sum of series sum आ गया. Right. So basically, this is how it's working. मैं आपके साथ एक सेपरेट फाइल भी शेयर करूंगा. मैंने की भी हो गया. थिंक सो आई डिड प्रीवियस क्लास में. उसमें फंक्शंस थे, फंक्शंस इन पाइथन. यू नीड टू प्रैक्टिस दैट. गो थ्रू दैट फाइल. अगर नहीं कि मैं दोबारा शेयर कर दूंगा. वो इट वाज सेपरेट लेक्चर अबाउट ओनली एंड ओनली फंक्शंस. ओके, अब ये जो अगले पार्ट है ना, आई वुड एडवाइस कि ये चीजें हम अगर आप पाइथन में कर लेते हो तो सूडोकोड विल बी लॉट इजियर फॉर यू टू हैंडल. मैं बार बार ये कहूंगा. We have discussed this, whatever was important. There are some things left, obviously. Let's do the past papers. Magar I would advise there are certain things over here, like this one, like 2D array. कल इसको open करके मैं आपको दिखा दूंगा. And probably we can do this. So 1D array तो आसान है. This one, yes. I will do them in Python with you. फिर आपको ज़्यादा आसानी समझ आ जाए. Yes, and any question that you have? Yes, beta. Is it clear?
No, sir.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes, sir.
Python को साथ-साथ करोगे pseudocode के तो it's very easy. Obviously, let's focus on P2 more in the upcoming days. मगर Tuesday को जो क्लास हमारी रह गई थी, वो कमिंग ट्यूसडे को वी हैव टू डू असेंबली. जो हमारा पार्ट की रिवीजन वो हम ट्यूसडे को ही करेंगे असेंबली की. फिर साथ साथ लेट्स अगेन कीप ऑन डूइंग P2. Let's put a full stop to P4, which I will try to put a full stop by tomorrow inshallah. I will let you know के P4 में क्या क्या आएगा. कल मैं आपको बता दूंगा कि आपके एग्जाम्स में. Okay. By the way, any idea when are your exams starting?